Mr. Steve Swart of the ACDP. Mr. Swart, you of course serve on the Justice Committee and as well as the Standing Committee on Finance. These are two key committees when it comes to the fight against corruption. And is the fight against corruption something that you are hoping to hear the Minister reflect on today?
Yes, absolutely. And morning to you, morning to your viewers. We from the ACDP side have consistently said that the law enforcement agencies, which include the Hawks, include the Special Investigating Unit, include the National Prosecuting Authority and the Investigative Directorate, need additional funding to be able to fight corruption, fight state capture, and implement the recommendations now of the State Capture Report. We notice that President Ramaphosa has also emphasized a lot on that, on the establishment of a standalone anti-corruption unit similar to the Scorpions. And we know the Scorpions were very effective and were only closed because they were so effective in going and prosecuting highly linked political leaders, and that's the reason why they were closed, regrettably. But what we need now is an independent unit, and the NPA is pushing for greater independence so that we can fight that. But the forensic data issue is so necessary. Forensic analysts, and they come at a great cost to be able to prosecute successfully these highly complex matters of corruption, money laundering and such. And that is so critically important at this. So we're really hoping, although that there was some additional funding given previously, and we're hoping that going forward in the medium term, substantial additional amounts will be given to law enforcement agencies for corruption and, of course, to fight murders and rapes in society. Citizens do not feel safe in society, and it is the primary role of government to protect their citizens from physical attacks, from rapes, from murders, and so that in addition to what we're saying to fight corruption.
Mr. Swart, can we just switch over to SOEs and Eskom in particular? The Minister should be making some pronouncement in that regard.
Yes, absolutely. And of course, the power shedding that we have ongoing continually is devastating households, businesses, our economy, and it's got to be addressed. And one of the ways of resolving this issue is to look at the debt that Eskom has, almost 400 billion rand, and it is costing them 55 billion per year to service that debt. So one of the ways of doing that is to shift some of that debt to the government's balance sheet, which can be loaned against at a much cheaper rate. And there's talk about a deal. Obviously, there would have to be conditions attached to that from National Treasury's side, that it assists in not making the fiscal consolidation part, which is so important, worse. But Eskom's debt has to be addressed, and we are expecting some announcement with conditions today. But clearly, it can't affect the sovereign debt anymore. We already know our sovereign debt is so high, 4 trillion rand going up to 5.4 trillion rand, with debt service costs being the highest budget item at the moment, 333 billion rand per year just to service our sovereign debt. So we've got to reduce the debt. Part of it is to reduce the debt of Eskom, shifting it. But secondly, we've got to make use of this tax windfall, estimated to be about 80 to 100 billion rand, to partially reduce government debt and then partially provide a social security net by possibly extending the 350 rand a month social distress grant for another year, possibly, because people on the ground are really struggling financially at the moment.
Steve Swart of the ACDP, thank you so much for chatting to us. I'll chat to you later on again. Well, there you have it. Political parties weighing in on their expectations, and they will be coming back to us later on after the Minister has delivered his speech. Studio?